Hi, how's it going? I'm Joey with Simple DIYer and welcome to the Simple DIYer channel. This is the very first episode and it is a shop tour. Now I'm right here in my computer room slash home office, if you will. It's just a spare room in my house and I just set up my computer here to do computer work, right? Anyways, I'm right here editing footages and videos of the projects that I've done for this season. Not all of them because I still got quite a few projects to do, but at least I have some projects that are completed, done, that I could share with you guys. Now, as I mentioned, this first video is a shop tour, and I thought it'd be kind of a good idea to do like a before and after where I show you, the shop of how it looks like right now, and then at the end of the season, record another shop tour of how it'll look like then. I just think it'd be kind of cool to see the transformation of, from the first beginning stages to the middle, the whole process, and then at the end. Now, this first video, fair warning, you have to bear with me just a little bit here because the quality of not only the video, but the lighting and the audio in some parts is not very good. And it's partly because of the equipment I use. I used a GoPro. I recorded that footage about a few weeks ago, and because everyone recommended it, so I got it. A week later, while watching the videos and editing it, I absolutely hated it. But by then it was too late because I already started tearing things down and getting it ready for the actual project, so I couldn't redo the video. So I decided to keep the video footage. I returned that stupid camera, and I just went ahead and got the higher end camera and stopped being cheap about it, right? So just bear with me just a bit for this first video. I promise you it's only going to get better from here on out and as I learn. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the shop tour. I'll be back at the end of the video to fill in any gaps. All right, so this section here it's really stationary. I mean, hardly anything here ever moves. It's just a basic shelving system made out of 2x4s and a 1/2-inch plywood sheets of plywood, and it's about 6.5 feet tall up to here, and then 7 feet tall here, or 8 feet tall. But I never did anything up here in the top. It's roughly about 11 to 12 feet long and 24 inches deep or wide, however you want to call it, right? This section here is really, like I said, it's just stationary. Nothing ever moves on this section. I've got this big old lunk of mechanics box, which I ever use. I don't do any more mechanics anymore. This section here, this little box here is the only section that ever gets any use. I spent about 80%, 90% of the time right here. Everything that I need is right here in the section. My drills, my chargers, this little box that I take with me if I got to take upstairs. Everything that I do is right here. So when I build my new station, I'm going to keep that in mind of the section that I work on a lot. Okay, everything else is just storage and just put together. This section here is another area that gets a lot of use. This little workbench, or whatever you want to call it, right? This is mobile. I put it on casters. It's got drawers here. I do everything here from putting things together, gluing stuff, staining. I mean, this is really, this gets a lot of use. It's probably my favorite piece of thing that I've ever built in this, in this whole thing here. But this here gets a lot of use. This pegboard system here, this bookshelf here. I've got books and magazines and all that stuff on woodworking. As you can see, I got tools just laying up in here. So, but this section here gets, in addition to this area here, this probably gets the most use out of everything else in this garage or shop, whatever you want to call it. So now this section here, as I mentioned earlier, is what I call the wet area. Right here, this is where the sink is at. The plumbing and everything came with the house. So put a sink in there. That's where all my paintbrushes, where, the gardening tools, all the cleaning stuff there. This is an 8-foot little workbench that I built, I don't know, about 10, 12 years ago when I lived in the other house that I lived at. and I just brought it with me, and it's been nothing more than just storage, really. You know, it's like you build these workbenches to work on them, and it just ends up being a damn storage, right? This is a cool little fun thing. It's my little slot machine that I, you know, play with every now and then. My kids play with it more than I do. Little fridge here. All the gardening tools and everything up here. This is probably the only woodworking thing that's on this area, only because there's no room for it over there. It's a lumber cart that I built. It's on small little wheels that I got. That's a little cooler, a rolling cooler, and actually those little wheels came off another cooler that I had, and it's been the worst. I just got to upgrade this whole thing with some good sturdy casters, so it could be easy to move, because it's really hard to move right now. Oops, there goes a chair. But this is where I keep all of my spare lumber and, you know, all these little itty bitty things that we can't. I clean it out like on a yearly basis. You know, and you know more than I do, if you're a DIYer like I am, then you know that you can never have enough storage to keep all this lumber stuff, right? But it's a pretty cool little lumber rack that I built and got the designs from a magazine. Can't remember which magazine it was, but that's where I got the idea from, and you know, built this stuff. And as I mentioned, it's a little cooler filled with shoes, but we use it a lot, believe it or not. You know, at least a dozen times a year. We have birthday parties and get-togethers and family barbecues, and we're always using this. And when we're not using it, I fill it up with damn shoes. So that's one of the projects that I'm gonna tackle, a shoe rack, because this is getting kind of tedious having to dump that off. It's all over the floor on the corner, and then when I'm done with it, put it back together. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing to this area here, other than it's just the wet area, what I like to call. So that's pretty much it on this section here. And then right up here at the top, this is a cool little storage thing that I built here, because right here where I live at, they don't allow us to have a shed, and I live in a two-story home, so we don't have an attic here in the garage, right? It's up in the second floor, so I had to build those two things. And on one side is all of the Christmas stuff, and on the other side is all of the Halloween stuff. And as you'll learn, you know, about me and with this channel, you'll learn that, you know, we go all out for Christmas and Halloween, especially Halloween. Halloween is our favorite time of year. The garage itself is about 20 by 20, roughly. It has 9-foot ceilings, so it's almost like a perfect square. And so there's a lot of opportunity to go crazy and be really creative with the new shop. All right, so there you have it. That was the very first episode of the season, the shop tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you didn't too much mind the horrible and excruciating you know, video quality and the audio and all that stuff. I mean, this is only the beginning, folks. I'm only going to get better from here on out, especially as I learn more about using the camera equipment and different, you know, scenarios as far as lighting and outside versus inside, things like that. So I'm very looking forward to seeing the actual progress from video to video to video. Speaking of which, in the next video, we're actually going to start the very first project, and I'm very excited about that. Actually, I'm excited to share the first few projects with you. The first few projects were very, very rewarding for me. They were so much fun, and I just had a blast doing them, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I hope you guys do too, and I hope you guys get a lot from them as well. If you're new to the channel or haven't yet done so, go ahead and subscribe so you can get notified on the next time I release and publish a video. And also hit me up on my social media site, especially on Instagram. I'm very active there. I'm always posting footages of both pictures and video of the current projects that I'm working on. And I think you'll enjoy those a lot, because a lot of those projects are stuff that won't make it to the video for a long time, and some of that stuff won't even make it to the video. So make sure to go ahead and hit me up on Instagram, even if it's just to say hey. So that's pretty much it for me here. I hope you enjoyed this video. With that said, peace, I love you free, and I'll see you on the next.